Hey guys, what's going on? Well, I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can, but it's not going to be quick. None of my videos ever are. Right now I've got some 5000s and some 2500s. The 2500s are going to be listed. I've sold quite a few 5000s, and they've all been firmware updated, all of that. These, right now what I've got is the XTS5000. This has FPP, and they all have Moto Turbo antennas with the exception of an 800 megahertz. This one is in VHF. All have back tags, all legit. All serial numbers are legit and clean. This one's in VHF, this one's in UHF. I've got both stubby UHF antennas and longer ones. I suggest longer ones, but I've got both types. Then I've got wide bands. And on a VHF unit, even though they will poke you in the armpit, I still cannot find any replacement for signal pull on a wide band. By the way, these all, I've got about 19 or 20 of the lithium-ion Impress batteries, all with brand new belt clips. And these are the NN6034A, and I bought them used slightly. They're all pulling way over 35. I think one may be at 33, but they're just absolutely killer batteries. Lithium-ion is the way to go. But anyway, this is the VHF, or this is the, let me see, is this? Yeah, this is the VHF FPP unit. It's another UHF Model 3. And I'm backtracking here, I know. This is a VHF with FPP, and they all have FPP, with the exception of the 800 megahertz. And this has the stubby Moto Turbo. I've got all types of antennas. I've got the long antennas, and I've got the stubby antennas, and I've got a good supply of all of them. This one, housing's a little rough from the plastic being on the screen. It's a good idea to remove that plastic, but at the same time, you know, I mean, you can keep it on for a decent period of time, but if you're in heat extremes, it's a very good idea, or even cold extremes, it's a very good idea to remove that protective plastic. These haven't been fielded. I've had one UHF, and I've had one VHF that has seen quite a bit of use, but you know, I mean, they all look, you know, in great condition. This is an 800 megahertz. All these have the latest firmware upgrade on the 5000s, and this has the special purpose antenna on it. And 800 megahertz has to be in 9600 baud. You cannot have FPP. So many people have written me, you can't have FPP and 9600 baud in the same radio. So you've got to make a choice. Do you either want a trunking radio that, you know, that's what 800 megahertz is, or do you want 9600 baud, which is made for trunking? Well, you want 9600 baud. It's a no-brainer. But anyway, these are really, really good radios, and I mean, you know, I've had a lot of good luck with sales on them. But yeah, these Impress batteries are just killer, and to have you know, 19 or 20 of them, that's a real big accomplishment for me. And the 2500s, let's see, 2500s are right here. This one is a VHF unit. Channel select. I wondered what that did. And I've got this set to channel select, scan list program. I flipped that accidentally. But anyway, yeah, I've got my radios are set to nuisance delete, scan list program. The toggle switches are A, B, and C. You've got A, unprogrammed, B, scan list program, C, keypad lock. Then I've just got that set for monitor. I believe I've got talk around direct, I'm not sure. On 800 megahertz, yeah. And then I've got the scan. And these are just very good radios. I do have a Model 2, and that's one thing I want to get to. I hope I've got enough time on my card. I got this Model 2, and when I got it in, I could not believe the way it was programmed. It had Zone 1. The channels were just so screwed around in the code plug. I mean, it's like whoever programmed them just kind of randomly threw channels into each zone, blindfolded. And I mean, none of them matched. You know, there wasn't any scan lists. There wasn't anything. It was just, I mean, it took me about 2 hours to go through the CPS and program this right. All because, you know, the guy didn't know what in the hell he was doing when he, when he had this radio. But you've got zone up, zone down. And this is a Model 2. I've got one more Model 2 coming in that I think I'm going to go ahead, in fact I'm sure I'm going to go ahead and have transformed into a Model 3, because I'm having good luck with Model 3 sales. And it'll have the Motorola or Moto Turbo antenna on them. Also, I got in, I've got a lot of these, but this one just came in from Panther. I haven't even cleaned it yet. But this is kind of what you get when you buy from Panther. They're not bad. This one's going to need some cleaning, but you've got to be careful when you clean them. You've got to know what you're doing and what not to get around. They do have a brand new cable that he put on them. So, I mean, it's these are good mics. He's, right now, I think he's got 7 left. He sold about 45 of them. I went ahead and grabbed one just out of curiosity. I haven't even messed with it. I haven't even hooked that up to a radio. Let's see if it works. Kind of curious on that one, because I just got it today and I needed to check it anyway. But to his credit, he lists pretty accurately. There we go. He lists pretty accurately, and he's not a crook or anything like that. A lot of people, don't like his listing practice as well. I don't see anything wrong with his listing practices. If he doesn't have tags on his radio, well, that's his business. I really don't care, because they're not mine. I need tags. I need legitimate tags and legitimate serial numbers and no hack jobs on them. So this actually, and I had one fella actually bought I believe this is the mic. We're going to hook this up. He bought it and he said it didn't work with 5000s. It does work with 5000s. It worked before I shipped it, and it works fine just now. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute. Let's get a UHF 5000 up here. I think I've got this set to the same. Let me check. Yeah, I do. Okay. Check. Turn the volume up. But you have to go into the CPS and you have to dick with some things. It's just the nature of the beast on something like this. There we go. It's going to be loud, I think. Check. Okay. So, his mics work. They may need cleaned, but, if you can handle that, that's fine. Check. Let me turn this up. Check, check. Whoa, no TX, huh? Well, maybe let's give him a little bit more benefit of the doubt. Okay, I programmed this radio last night and I don't think this thing should be transmitting. Check, check. Check, check. Yep, I'm not getting anything. Check, check. Well, I'm going to put an annotation in. I'm going to go into the CPS and make sure that the code plug is set, because this was such, the guy had it programmed so half-assedly that, if that's even a word, that, I'm surprised anything worked on the radio, but it works great now. And it just needed about 2 hours of work in the CPS. But I'm going to put an annotation in the code plug and see if a box has been unchecked to not allow this to transmit, or this may be going back to Panther. We'll see. I haven't ever gotten anything bad from Panther, so I don't have any problem with him. I do have some new in box. They're 2010 date code, brand new, impressed batteries. I think I've initialized these. I've had them for a while. I haven't really messed with them. 2500s are really nice radios, and these are brand new. And these are going to be listed on eBay soon. I just don't know when I'll get around to it, but I've got a lot of things I need to look. But anyway, yeah, like on these mics, maybe I don't have the channels. Let's try it with another mic. Well, let's try it with a radio. Check, check. Check, check. What am I, dentist? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on channel 3. Bravo channel. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's it. Okay, no need for the annotation. Let's hook this back up. Hang on. Feedback central. Okay. One more time, Panther. I've never gotten anything from him that's been defective. Other people have, but I haven't. Check, check. Let me see. Get back down to channel 3. There we go, channel 1. Check, check. There we go. See, usually the code plugs are set. Code plugs are set for default. And damn it. Check, 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 check. These things are so close together, but the mic works so great. It's going to take a little bit of cleaning off that dust, but I can deal with that. Anyway, let me switch over to another mic really quickly. I don't know how much time I have, and if this runs out, it runs out. I've got a lot of things I want to say, but there's very little time that I've got to deal with it. And I've got to put the camera down once again. Don't like it, fucking don't click on my videos. People who are used to my videos know that the videos kind of suck, but at least I'm giving you some kind of information that should be useful. Check, 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 check. This is the mic that the guy said did not work, and it works fine. He needs to go into the CPS. Check, 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 check. Check, check. He just needs to go into the CPS and he needs to activate the remote speaker mic. Evidently, when he didn't have it in the CPS, he didn't activate the remote speaker mic. So, you've got a lot of work to do if you're going to buy from somebody who's going to send you a blank code plug, a code plug that's just set for stock default, not programmed hardly at all, maybe 1 or 2 channels. Even if it's FPP, you're still going to wind up doing some hours. And I'm talking maybe a couple hours in the CPS going through and setting your radio up. It's just going to happen. My radios aren't like that. When you get my radios out of the box, they're ready to go. If you want MDC signaling, that's on you. You can go ahead and deal with that. If you want trunking, again, that's on you. I don't do trunking. I just set up the radios enough for test, and it works fine. But you know, at the same time, I set up all the scan lists for up to 48 channels, and they're all synced to each zone. So the scan lists are set, and they will scan per zone. So I mean, you don't have to dick around with a lot of things when you get my radios. When you get other people's radios, it's a crapshoot. And you know, I've had the good, bad, and the ugly on all of them. And the ones that, you know, have had to have work on, you know, if the housing's bad, I'll pull the housing, I'll put a new housing on it, I'll upgrade the firmware, and that's usually, I'll send it to Co to have that done. Because when the firmware is upgraded, I also have the flash upgraded, and I have the flash upgraded for the radio, which is, you know, if it's an 800 megahertz, I want 9600 baud. Everybody needs 9600 baud and 800 megahertz. That's just all there is to it. You know, for those fellows that are, you know, wanting FPP on 800 megahertz, I don't know why in the hell you want it, but you know, it's going to be a pretty useless radio. But you know, I don't know that much about. The 800 megahertz band, so you know, I am ignorant in that respect. But yeah, these are really good batteries. I've got, like I said, I've got about 19 or 20 or so. NTN 6034A, they sure as hell weren't cheap. I've got brand new belt clips on all of them. All my radios. It's nice to have a good lithium ion to turn to. And like I said, they're all pumping over 3500 milliamp. That's good. I also have microphones that are going to be going up on eBay. One, I made a mistake the other day, and I listed a microphone, which was actually one like this, that had the 3.5 millimeter jack on it, which is evidently a PMMN 4051A. And I accidentally sent the guy this, which was, it doesn't have the ear jack. And he was kind of a dick about it. And I don't mind saying that because he was. And I've never really dealt with a guy that would get so pissy. You know, I haven't paid, I said, look, I'll give you a full refund with, you know, your original shipping and your return shipping. And, you know, he was still pissy. So you know, when you do that, you know, and not only that, I sent him a link to a seller that had this with the 3.5 millimeter jack. I didn't even realize I had one in my stock room. Hell, I would have sent him one of these. But no, I went ahead and told him, I said, you know, hey, I see one. You know, you might want to pick one up. And he probably did, but, you know, he was such a dick, I really didn't want to do any more business with him. I've never really run into a guy quite as pissy as this guy was. Just really rude. But anyway, I've got, and he's got his full refund. And he's, you know, if it's an error on my part, you know, I mean, even though I'll say, you know, it's sold as is and all that, I'm going to make it right, you know, if it's my error, and if, you know, if there's something defective, but I test these things out so thoroughly that they're not. I just made a mistake because I mean, these look like the same damn mics. And I was in a hurry, and I grabbed it, and it was my mistake. But, you know, trying to make it right with the seller who's, you know, being a dick and rude, you know, it's kind of hard to do. But these are going to be sold, these are going to be up for auction. I'm just going to sell them separate. I was going to sell them with radio packages. I do have those Commander 2 mics, both with, I've got them with channel selection and without. I've got this type, which is the older type, but they work great. They do have the emergency man down button. These are the submersible ones, so they won't have the 3.5 millimeter jack. I'm going to have to be careful when I list these because I don't want to start eating return shipping. Here's another type, and this one actually has a mobile clip on the back, which is really cool. And for a while, Panther was selling these, but these are great mics, and you know, new cords, no issues at all with them. Jedi mics, I've got a lot of these. These are brand new, and if they're not brand new, they're mint. I don't have any, I don't sell anything that I wouldn't want to have myself. Because, you know, I mean, who wants shit? Nobody does. I sure as hell don't. But anyway, I've got another 5000 Model 2 that I just pulled the trigger on just tonight. And I don't know if it's got encryption. It does have hardware multi-key. But, you know, it wasn't cheap. But it will be a good radio. And I'm going to go ahead and, I'm sure I'll probably need to upgrade the firmware. Well, my plans for it is to turn it into, you know, Model 3 with FPP, because those are good sellers. And, you know, I did want to hold on to one that was a Model 2 because I really, really like the navigation on here. It's a lot nicer, I think, than that navigation. But, you know, at the same time, I just wanted a Model 2 and I wanted to hold on to it. Really quickly, I'm going to try and be quick about this. The Converticoms, I've bought all brand new in the box vehicular mounts for these XTVAs. They have all the hardware still in the package. They come with brand new, never been opened Motorola cables. Now, there are a lot of sellers out here who are going to sell you, you know, one of these with non-Motorola cables. Well, at the price of these things, they're not cheap. I'll guarantee you that. And, you know, you screw around with cheap cables, you can really screw up a very, very good Converticom. These are open-faced, and they are for the XTS3000 series, XTS5000 series. They will not fit the 2500s. They never made them. I did get a VHF, UHF. It's a dual purpose antenna. It's got the mag mount on it. And I don't believe it has enough. I believe you're going to have to, at least when I hook this up, if it goes in my truck, it's going to have a longer, I don't think that cable's long enough. So it may need an extension, I'm not sure. You know, looking at it, no, I don't know. It may have enough cable. But, you know, it takes a BNC adapter and it plugs into the bottom. So, also, I do have RF adapters. The ones I got are used, that I bought just the other day. I've got 4 of those coming in. I'm keeping one of these units, so this is one that I'm keeping, and I'm going to keep the nicest one. And but you know, I mean, they're all in such killer shape, and plus I have a brand new mic for one of them. But anyway, I'm going to sell these units with the brand new mounts, with all the brand new hardware, brand new wiring harness, and the RF adapters, which do not come cheap. You go and price these bad boys. See how much they cost. This part screws into the SMA base in your antenna. You remove this, and you really don't need to put that back on unless you're going to go without an antenna, which very few people do. So I mean, this is kind of, you know, it's for maybe rain. But anyway, when you screw your antenna on top, and then when you slide it into the XTVAs, this centerpiece depresses, and it actually sends your signal through the unit. Damn, this camera sends a unit through this unit, and it will go out to your antenna, so your external antenna. So, you know, this antenna, you know, it's not a great antenna, but it's really the only one I could find. And you know, for UHF and VHF, it'll handle both. It'll be interesting to see the signal pull that it has. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go on and on about them, but I do have the XTVAs, I do have the mics, I do have the radios. So these mics are going to be going up on eBay. The Commander 2 I think I'm going to keep for a while. The VHFs I'm keeping. One UHF I'll keep. And I don't know. I'm debating on whether to get rid of all of these or to keep maybe one or two just for a while. Because they are very, 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 very good radios. But anyway, take it easy, guys. Later on.